Hey guys, it's Mallow here once again, and today I have become a Scion. The reason to become a Scion is because I'm playing Essence Drain. So in the past I've made a couple of Essence Drain characters and they've both been a low life Essence Drain because it's just made the most sense to scale damage and for utility for a build like this. But with today's environment, with a Cosprees, with enough life nodes, I get the feeling that life-based Essence Drain can be really nice. So I decided to go ahead and make one, and it's given me an excuse to make the first Scion I've done on Prophecy League, because it's pretty much the only instance that I could imagine a Scion being good in the current environment. Now, as you can see, I'm using Blasphemy, Temp Chains, and Vulnerability, and Blasphemy Temp Chains with Curse Effectiveness is just the most godlike shit ever. You can see what's happening here, that everything gets slowed down to just immense proportions where the game becomes a complete joke. I have pretty average defense right now without the temp chains, but with the temp chains I get to walk around and basically hold my dick doing whatever the hell I want because it doesn't matter. Everything is so slow and you have so much time to react to everything that it's just nice. That said though, this character for Essence Drain, a life based, won't be getting as much damage as the low life version, but this still feels like plenty. It's given me, so far this build has given me more than enough damage that I've needed to take out everything up to tier 10 maps, even while I was level 70, and it's still got a bit of a ways to go, and it's on a fairly decent budget. The only thing that actually costs anything right now of my gear is a Cosprees. It will of course get a bit more expensive when I want to go for a 6-link Cosprees, but a Cosprees isn't even essential on this build. You can go with something else like a Consuming Dark and whatever chest you want, and that'll still be perfectly fine. Something else I was messing around with on the character is maximum AoE. So I took the Cosprees off, put on a Carcass Jack, wore a Divinarius, and a Breath of the Council, which basically gave me an extra 40% AoE, and then I went to town in a Coward's Trial. So as you can see, with just enough AoE, you can clear the entire screen quite comfortably based off of your contagion spreading. And this is the very last room. I let everything get rezzed and took it all out in one hit. It was the most satisfying thing you've ever seen. It's not particularly the best option to wear something like a Carcass Jack and get maximum AoE, but it certainly can work and you can justify it. And on top of that, it's really fun to use a Vile Detonate Dead, which at the moment has absolutely no place in my build other than to just be visually pleasing, so don't really use it if you want utility. Now, one of the problems I've seen a lot of people have with Essence Drain is they started out and it just feels too slow, painful, and boring for them. And that, I think, is largely due to not utilizing enough leveling uniques or while leveling with Essence Drain. If you use absolutely no gear and no good leveling uniques, don't take the right passives and all that, it will be horrendously slow, and it will be painful, and you probably won't want to play it up until the end game. But as you can see here, this is my normal Duresso kill. He dies extremely easily, extremely quickly. And this is me leveling through normal, and even at this stage it's already very fast, without any increased area, without quite a lot of the links and cast speed and even poison that you're going to need in the end game. But what is quite important in the end is to get poison into your setup very early on so you can start doing lots of single target damage. This is me against normal comb and I don't yet have poison in. And you can see it's kind of slow because all you really do is throw an Essence Drain out and that's the best you can do. Once you get poison into the setup for your Essence Drain, then you can throw out multiple Essence Drains and the damage just keeps on stacking, giving you more and more and making for some very fast kills. So this is the Malachi on normal that I'm taking on, and I've put poison into my setup. And as you can see, every time I hit, I have an extra bunch of poison damage happening, and it keeps stacking with Essence Drain every time I actually attack, and it expires longer, or takes longer to expire because of the temp chains we're using as well. So right from the get-go, you can use a Dodri's Damning Ring, which is pretty much free for +1 curse, and then straight away get your temp chains and vulnerability attached to Blasphemy, and that makes for some pretty cruise control killing and leveling all the way through with your Essence Drain character. You can see here I am absolutely steamrolling normal Malachi, and it's probably one of the fastest kills I've ever done. It's very easy and it's very safe thanks to temp chains always being up and being very effective thanks to the curse effectiveness from Blasphemy, from quality, and as well from the passives I get. I'll show you exactly what I do to level this character and the gear that you should be wearing to make it very smooth, and it depends really how much you want to invest as to how fast it'll be and how safe it'll be. But at the very least you do need some leveling uniques if you want this to not suck balls while leveling. That's Cruel Val, I believe. Might have been Merciless. I think this is Cruel Piety, maybe. So, as you can see, Val Lightning Trap also pretty good. Very early on, what's quite important to get is use 2 Life Sprigs. That'll carry you quite a lot of the way, and that's where you house your Fire Trap and your Contagion just to start off until you get Essence Drain. Those 2 should do quite a lot of damage and should kill things all in one hit, as long as you wear them and use them in the Life Sprigs. On top of that, I highly recommend getting some Elrond jewelry, some rings, maybe an amulet, and that'll make casting very simple and very quick. Run a couple of Quicksilver flasks, 1 mana flask typically, and if you can get your hands on a +1 to levels Tabula Rasa, that will make your leveling extremely easy. Because a level 2 Empower is very cheap to get if you buy a corrupted one, and can start at level 10, meaning right once you get Essence Drain at level 12, you can already put that in. If you have a +1 Tabula, that means the Empower is going to do +2 to levels, and then your Essence Drain will also get another level, meaning Essence Drain will already have 3 levels right from the start. Beyond that, the Elrond Jewelry will help you link as many things as possible, and early on you can get Void Manipulation, you can get Controlled Destruction, you can get Rapid Decay, and Pierce is something you get later on for quality of life, but you can get early on too. These are probably your most important links, these 3 here, attached to Essence Drain. If you can get a Tabula though, also use Empower, +1, very handy, very useful. Beyond that, something else that's really useful and gets you going quite early is a Hidden Potential. So starting out this character, the first few points right here, I go 1, 2, 3, and then straight away, 4th point, shove Hidden Potential in. What you're going to do is run 2, maybe even 3 blue jewelries from Elrond, so that's already 75, or close to 69% damage, I believe, and then you run a blue belt as well. So grab any old belt, and all of a sudden you've got 100% damage scaling for most of the game, which is roughly equivalent to all of this shit here for the Shadow, and you barely had to do anything. So Hidden Potential is absolutely amazing for leveling this shit, and I do recommend you get it. And then straight away you start going up to some Chaos Damage nodes, some Damage Over Time nodes, and start filling out some life as you see fit. Jewels themselves are also going to be very good because each jewel is worth roughly 2 to 3 damage nodes, depending on what kind of jewels you can get. Some of these are pretty average, but you can get better ones. And lastly, I'll mention that quality on your Blasphemy and quality on your Temp Chains is quite important. So try and get quality of both of those, and at level 24 you can start using them. Here's your Dodri's Damning Ring, can use it at level 1, only costs a few chaos, maybe not even that, and that will enable 2 curses. As I said though, beyond that you do want poison, so you want to attach the poison gem until you can get at level 53 a Consuming Dark. So that is the option if you don't have a Cospriz. It's really not a big deal if you don't have one, it just means you won't be running curse immune maps as easily as I do. But you can easily wear a Consuming Dark, wear some other chest that you want, and then run a Dodri's Damning. That's still perfectly fine. But poisoning on your Essence Drain is extremely important. That's about all I'll say for Essence Drain for the time being. The character is still fairly low level, 83, but it's been very fast leveling, several hundred millions of XP per hour, something like 200 or 300 million on good maps, and I'll talk more about the character in the future, but right now I'll leave you with what was a very fun map, Sea Witch Beyond Canyon, with a maximum AoE just for the fun of it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. This is fucking it. That was flaccid. I lied. This totally isn't it. For some reason. Holy crap, I just chained out of nowhere. Shit's still just like off-screen chaining. Sometimes pretty good. Oh, yes. Oh my god, give me this box as well. You guys ready for this? Okay, that was fucking worth it. We did it. Shrine plus box. Definitely worth it. Oh, another massive one. If I actually leveled Valdir, it'd probably clean up real nicely. Right now it's not doing too much. Might be able to get a fat chain here. Yep, got the fat chain. Why isn't it blue? Because I think the purple looks better when you have this much AoE. Go back to blue for the test though, if you want. When it gets this big, the blue just like, I don't know, it kind of loses its texture. Well, that was the worst Vile DD ever. See that? Like, the blue just doesn't chain. When it starts chaining, the blue's hardly even recognizable. Yeah, this map was absolutely worth it. Thank God I clicked Zana for the first time in like 2 weeks. Still, Beyond feels like it's awfully unimpressive, all things considered. You would think I'd be chaining a lot more Beyond here. No, I need to Valdidi this shit. Yay!